Hello everyone, it's Leo, and it's time to talk about episode 10 from Healing with PreCure. This episode was important in a way, and it showed lots of new things, and it set up the way to the power up next episode. But anyways, let's talk about episode 10. I feel like the start of the episode was a contrast. So we had the three girls, and we had the scene basically showed how harmonious they are, how harmonious the group is, and how in sync they are with each other. And so they worked together to help the old lady, and everything was fine. They were all laughing, they were all having fun. Nodoka was cute as hell with her wanting to go to the train. It was the first time she went to one, and that was adorable as hell. I loved that. And then we had a contrast with the villains, because when we have a team of three, with the three main girls getting along and not having clashes, their ideas are all coming together, everything's fine. And then we have the villains, that everything goes wrong, nothing connects. Their ideas, they want the same thing, but they can't connect with each other. They only fight, they only argue. But they all have the same plan, attacking at the same time. But that they did sync with each other. But I think that this first scene with the two different groups was to show how different the two groups are. And so we get to the actual episode in which the girls go to a field trip and they go to a glass museum. And the first thing that I found very strange was the fact that they didn't take the healing animals with them. And I do understand they're going with their school and everything, but girl, you're a cure, and you have to protect the earth. What if something happens? You won't be able to transform if the healing animal isn't there with you. So I found that very strange, and I do understand that it would be hard to take Latte. Latte I would completely understand, but the other three healing animals, no excuse. And you can say they're there to take care of Latte. I agree, I can understand that, but they need to fight. And the healing animals going after them was the wisest thing. And I believe that honestly, it was that scene was also nice because since Rabirin and Pegitan, they knew where they were going and they knew what was going on, and Nyatoran didn't, because Hinata was not caring about telling Nyatoran, and that's so Hinata. Those little details are what's making Hinata so great. And then when they get there, the Byogen's attack. So the villains attack, and then Guaibaru is the first one to attack, and the girls transform to fight against him. But at the same time, they see that Latte is suffering a lot, and at the same time, there are other attacks going on. So here is what the first thing I found very strange. Well, the girls were fighting against that Byogen, and the first Byogen, and one thing I found interesting was that we saw the lady, the artist, and she didn't want to leave her arts behind. That was very nice, and that was a nice touch. The victim was she didn't want to leave. She wasn't really worried about how dangerous that situation could be. She wanted to be with her art, and she wanted to do something. And that was nice, that was interesting. The first time we didn't see someone running away. Well, the second time, because the Moscow guy also didn't run away in his episode. But yeah, that was nice. And the girls, actually Grace took her out, and the girls kept on fighting. But then Fontaine started taking care of Latte, and she noticed that there were other Byogens. And here's this is probably the weirdest thing of this episode to me. The three girls were already there fighting against that Mega Byogen, and they decided to separate with each one to each Byogen. And I was like, girls, you are already fighting one. Why don't you finish this one and then you go after the others? I was that idea was so bad. And the fact that they bought that idea so fast was really weird. Really, really weird. And I know the episode had to have that for it to happen, but it didn't work out for me. The argument wasn't that strong, and the Byogens were far away from each other, and so they had to run towards each Byogen. It would take us some time, and I just didn't understand that philosophy behind that idea they had. I really didn't, since they were already there fighting one of them. Why didn't they try to finish that one before? Well, but anyways, Grace stayed, and this is an unexpected turn of events. The villains, I thought that they were going to be like against the counterparts, like Grace against Daruizen, for example. But no, Grace stayed against Guairu, and Daruizen stayed with Fontaine, and Shindoine with Sparkle. And so, like, they all had a very rough time fighting by themselves. We didn't really see much of Spark or Fontaine fighting, though. Like, it seems, for me, it seems that Fontaine was, like, having the easiest time out of all the three of them. Like, Sparkle was having a rough time, and Fontaine was just jumping around. And, you know, Fontaine's a badass. Look, I'm sorry to say this, but I think Fontaine gets the high end out of those three cures because she's always kicking ass. But apart from that, we had a pretty nice showing of Cure Grace, and I loved it. Because when Cure Grace was fighting alone, she had a very rough time fighting because of the arts in the museum. She didn't want she wanted to protect them all. She didn't want to destroy them. So she had to take a lot of care in her fight. And when she was fighting, she used the Harvest Bottle. And when I saw that, I thought, okay, here we go. The worst bottle in the world. How wrong I was. How wrong. Girl, that bottle turned into a sword. And I was like, Grace, you're shutting us all up. We criticized this bottle so much. Look at what it became. That is so cool. That was so cool. And it was beautiful because the background was all like a kaleidoscope thing. It was so beautiful, honestly. And I just loved watching Grace fight. And she was very worried. Rabining was also very worried because Rabining wanted her to win against them, but she couldn't. She was all worried about having to protect the arts. And the girls noticed that they wouldn't be able to win by themselves, and so they got together to defeat that Byogen. So they got back and they won against that Byogen. The fight was nice. I liked it. Like, for example, we had the girls like going outside, and we had Fontaine using the ice bottle as well. Before that, we had Sparkle using a kind of like a whip to hold the monster in place, like at the start of the fight. That was also very nice. Like, they can do so many different things with their powers, and I'm loving that in this season. And so, like, when they were outside, they were able to defeat it, and Sparkle and Fontaine was the one to defeat it. Like, Fontaine girl, I love you. Like, you are the queen of this season, like, in fights. You are the queen of this season. I'm loving how she's able to defeat them and how she used the ice bottle and she froze the monster and then she got him. And when they defeated them, that was like, okay. Here's the other strange part of this episode. They took their time to listen to the Sparkle element and hear it talk, and they were all smiling and they were all happy. Like, girls, the sense of urgency, wake up. I do understand they needed to talk to the Sparkle element because it filled Cure Sparkle's bottle. I do understand that, but what about the rest of them? Like, couldn't you do that a little faster and without those happy faces all around, like you just defeated the last boss of the season? Urgency, come on. And then I was like, girl, the other two monsters are there attacking. You know about that, and you're just there talking to the element like nothing's going on. And the elements were like, please help the other elements. They're all suffering. They're all being attacked. Please help them. That was so strange. And then when they were going there, Cure Grace had a heartfelt talk with Rabining, and that was nice. Like, Grace, like, she didn't want to let go of her fight. She wanted to fight it by herself, no matter what, because she wanted to protect the arts and everything. That felt very sweet. But at the same time, it could have hurt the group as a whole, because they needed to fight together. They couldn't fight by themselves. So, like, she had a very heartfelt talk with Rabining. And so the episode ended right there. Cliffhanger, more fights in the next episode. So, another thing that we know now is that the longer the Byogen stays alive and, wrecking havoc and things, they become stronger. And so in the next episode, they're probably gonna have a hard time because they took their time to talk to the sparkle element, and now they're probably very, very strong. Both of them are very strong. But I think they're gonna be able to defeat the river one, like in a faster. I think they're gonna be able to do that, especially now that Sparkle has her bottle full. Maybe that will enhance her power somehow. And then they're probably gonna have a hard time with the heart, the flower element, the dandelion that became a monster. Like, I think that is when their powers are gonna come together and they're going to become they're going to get the power up. That's when I think things are gonna happen. So, like, for the preview, we were able to see that they're going to be with their civilian costumes. So I think they're gonna get beat by that monster, and they're not gonna be able to purify. They're gonna de-transform it, and they're gonna retreat for a while and talk and do something, and then they're gonna go back and win. So I don't know. I think that's what's gonna happen. Anyways, this episode was messy in some parts and great in other parts. So, like, I think things are well done for the next episode, and I think next episode is also going to be gorgeous. New power, here we come. I cannot wait to see that. Anyways, guys, that was my view on episode 10. Please leave a comment with yours. Let's keep talking in the comment box below. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye bye.